All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're cutting through the noise to give you a straightforward, no-nonsense strategy for leading in this new age of AI. We're going to break down how to organize your company around what is essentially a new kind of colleague, not just a new tool.
And let's start with this number because it really gets to the heart of it. 76% of leaders, that's more than 3/4, already see this technology as a coworker, not just a piece of software. And that one little shift in mindset, well, that changes absolutely everything about how we manage, how we organize, and how we create value.
So what are we actually talking about when we say Agentic AI? Let's be clear, this isn't just a smarter chatbot. We're talking about systems that are designed from the ground up to handle complex, multi-step tasks all on their own. They can plan, they can act, and they can learn without you holding their hand every step of the way.
And get this new coworker is showing up for work incredibly fast. Agentic AI has hit 35% adoption in just 2 years. I mean, that's a pace that blows past previous AI waves. And here's the problem. It's showing up without a game plan, which you can imagine creates a huge strategic risk for companies that just aren't ready for it.
So to handle this tidal wave, you need a solid framework. Here's our 5-part strategy to get you there. We're going to start with redesigning work itself, then talk about governing for autonomy, reshaping your teams, building new kinds of capacity, and finally, how to invest when everything is constantly changing.
Okay, pillar number 1. It's all about redesigning the work. The real win here isn't just about making one step in an old process a little bit faster. It's about having the guts to rethink the entire workflow from scratch. And that leads to this core tension that every single leader is grappling with right now. Do you retrofit, plug AI into your current process for some quick, low-risk wins? Or do you go big and re-engineer the whole thing for a massive transformative payoff that, let's be honest, comes with higher risk? There's no easy answer.
So the key is to build for flexibility. And that really means a 3-part strategy. First, you've got to design processes that have options, giving you both efficiency and adaptability. Second, you have to plan for what we call scope escalation. Know that your small AI projects are going to grow and trigger bigger redesigns. And third, you need to staff your teams with both the deep dive specialists and the big picture orchestrators who can manage it all.
This brings us right to governance. I mean, how on earth do you manage something that's designed to think for itself? This requires a totally new playbook, one where you own the system like a tool, but you have to supervise it like an employee.
And if you think you have time to figure this out, look at this number. 250%. That's the expected growth in AI's decision-making power in just the next 3 years. That is not a gradual shift, my friends. That is an explosion of autonomy that needs guardrails right now.
This strategy here is actually pretty clear. First, you have to be explicit about who or what gets to make the final call in different scenarios. No ambiguity. And second, you need to build centralized governance hubs that set the rules for the whole company before you let these agents run wild in different departments.
Okay, so if AI is now a coworker, it just makes sense that the actual shape of our teams and our hierarchies has to change, right? This is all about redesigning the org chart for a brand new kind of hybrid workforce. This chart just lays it out so perfectly. Look at today. AI is mostly seen as an assistant, but fast forward just 3 years and leaders expect it to be a colleague, a coach, and even a mentor. That's a massive shift in how we think about team dynamics and even career paths.
So what does this actually mean for your company's structure? Well, get ready for some major shifts. We're talking flatter organizations. Managers are going to have a wider span of control, overseeing both people and AI agents. That means we'll likely see fewer layers of middle management and a huge new demand for generalists, people who can orchestrate these new, complex, hybrid teams. The whole idea of climbing the corporate ladder is about to get a serious shakeup. All right, our 4th pillar is all about capacity. And let me be clear, this isn't just about upskilling your people to use AI better. It's also about creating a whole system to manage the life cycle of your new AI agents, from the day you hire them to the day you retire them.
Some of the top investors in this space are really explicit about this. They say you have to treat these systems just like new hires. You can't just set it and forget it. They need training, they need coaching, and they need supervision to stay effective and to grow. So the most forward-thinking companies, they're actually creating a brand new function. Think of it as an HR department, but for their non-human workforce. This team is responsible for the entire agent lifecycle, recruiting the right AI models, onboarding them, evaluating their performance, retraining them with new data, and yes, eventually retiring them when they become obsolete.
And that brings us to our 5th and final pillar. Let's talk money. This is so important because investing in agentic AI completely breaks the traditional financial rules that we've all been taught for decades.
Here's the core of the dilemma. For our entire careers, we've known that traditional tools and machines lose value over time, right? They depreciate. Well, with Agent AI, you have to throw that playbook out the window. A well-managed AI agent can actually become more valuable the more it works and learns. It's an asset that can appreciate. That requires a whole new way of thinking about value.
Your financial strategy, therefore, has to be completely different. First, your budgets need to be built for adaptability. You have to assume constant upgrades are part of the deal. Second, you need joint review processes, where IT, finance, and HR are all at the table making these decisions together. And third, you have to develop hybrid metrics that can track both the tool-like costs and the worker-like value creation.
So after all that, let's pull it all together. What is the one single most important takeaway here? What is the strategic imperative for every single leader listening to this?
Ultimately, it's this. Winning in this new era is not a technology race. It's an organizational design race. Your competitive advantage isn't going to come from having the best AI. It's going to come from having the best organization built around that AI.
Which leaves us with the one question every leader now has to answer for themselves. And this isn't just a thought exercise. How you respond to this, whether you truly see this as just another tool or as a fundamentally new, non-human actor on your team, that answer is going to define the future of your company.